Diversity is a reality, but inclusion is a choice, and it's a choice we make every day. And we choose to include and we choose to grow. And I believe that there's a real need for women to lead in this field. And we don't belong here because we are just as good as the men, but inherent in each and every one of us here is a real strength and quality unique to us as women and as people. And these are the qualities that will change the game. We need to own who we are and push forward as leaders in this field. We stand on the shoulders of those who have come before us, and it's our duty to continue that path and support the growth and empowerment of women. And each and every one of you have the ability to change the world. Just find your path and stay true to you. Believe in one another, support each other.
I am actually the first female general manager of York Region Transit. What people have to remember, it took a lot of hard work. A lot of hours were invested in getting where I was today. I loved every moment of it. Yes, there was hard times. Yes, there were people that came into my life that really challenged me to be a good person, to be persistent in getting through. Probably as a woman, I was asked to do things that, what I perceived maybe a man would not necessarily have to do. I had to prove myself, so where, somebody might be promoted easily, I had to go through a fairly extensive process in order to prove to everybody that I was the right person for that job. So things like that do happen, but don't let that get you down.
It's changing, the culture is changing. We are here today to continue that growth. We are moving in the direction, but have I faced barriers and challenges? Has it impacted my career? Yes. In many ways it's overt, in many ways it's subtle, and this is something that we come up across every day. And this is something that we have to acknowledge. We have to support one another. We have to be aware of it. We have to continue, and we have to be strong in what we're doing. It can be something as subtle as, I was asked many times if I was gonna come back to work after having kid after kid after kid. My partner worked with me. He was never asked that. I was also gone from the workforce for a lot of time. I'm not in the front line work when I'm pregnant. I had kids back to back to back. It does impact you, and it will. But what do you do with that? How do you take that? How do you put yourself ahead to continue your growth? And you're gonna have to have those conversations, and you're gonna have to be your champion, and we have to be your champion. We have to work together to make that happen.
It's very important to have women in this field because not only does it change the conversations we're having about breaking down the barriers, because the more women we have, the more we'll prove that barriers shouldn't exist and that women are equally capable as men in this field. And also it just changes the way that law enforcement is done and the people who are doing law enforcement. And I think that's important because it goes to that first question about violence. We don't always need that heavy hand sometimes. Sometimes it just needs perhaps a woman's touch, really, to deal with situations, and I find that's very useful in the field.
Pam said it earlier, your first use of force is your mouth. And I think, we have the skills and we are able to communicate a little bit differently, and we see things from a different perspective. And I think it's really important in the workplace that we have a whole array of perspectives and a whole array of skills. And we're not wanting to hire people just because they're women. We want to hire them because they have the skills. So if you have the skills, you may not have ever considered this job because you didn't know about it. So that's really why we're here today.
46 South Road.